Did you feel like you miss your friends and you don't want to move?
Definitely. The first half a year was a bit sad. I was thinking about back home. It was a difficult time at the beginning. The language barriers, new culture, trying to find jobs to survive.
How does this process work for this industry?
I would take the scissors in my hand and something would come out of it. Oh, maybe I should create my brand.
You should.
We had showrooms in Moscow, we had showrooms in Milan, in London, in Dusseldorf, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. It went big. It's not art, it's just a sketch that puts your idea of design on a paper.
2.5 years.
The 4-year program. I loved to be in college. I would take insane amounts of loans and then be like, oh, I'm working all my life to pay my loans. Thank God. I lost a lot of money in fashion, but in the coffee shop, no.
Good. Fashion is not something that exists in dresses only. Fashion is in the sky, in the street. Fashion has to do with the ideas, the way we live and what is happening around us, said Coco Chanel. Today our guest is a person who has been engaged in fashion all his life and who has created a dress transformer. Please welcome an immigrant from Armenia, Von Sargsyan. I was always wondering, who are these people who make us, men and women, looking good? Today I have a chance to talk to the clothes designer, to the fashion designer, Von Sargsyan. Hi, Von.
Hi.
How are you?
Very good, and you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting us to your beautiful place. It's so beautiful, so bright. Thank you so much.
Of course, welcome.
So, tell us your story.
My story, starting from how I got into fashion, probably.
Okay, we can start here, or we can start how you got to the United States.
How I got to the United States? Actually, I was a teenager when we emigrated to United States. I emigrated with my family. I emigrated, back then was Soviet Union, Armenian. I was living in Armenia. And we didn't really have any fashion industry at the time. So for me, it was very exciting to move to America. And my family moved to New York. It was a difficult time at the beginning, the language barriers, new culture, trying to find jobs to survive. I went to Fashion Institute of Technology and I finished with fashion design degree. And that's how, actually my career started. I worked for a few companies. And when I was 26, I started my own business and I still run my own businesses in fashion.
Did you have this idea back in Armenia to be a fashion designer?
Yes, I actually always wanted to be a fashion designer. Since I was like 3 years old, I would design dresses for my mom, her friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually have the sketches. And I always wanted to do something with fashion and specifically design clothes.
I'm not really familiar with Armenia, but what about the clothes for women in Armenia? Do they wear all like black, or they wear like regular clothes?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a modern country, modern fashion, and I would say very stylish, very fashion forward. Yeah, definitely. No, they don't wear all black. No, for
I don't know
sure, no.
why I have this idea, but it just looks like.
No, I mean everybody likes black because it slims you. But yeah, definitely has nothing to do with the country or any tradition.
A lot of people don't believe that they can win a green card. But my personal experience shows the opposite. I am a green card lottery winner, and I can tell that everything is possible. How did this process start? How did you move here?
Well, it was very interesting because my father just won the green card by the
Oh,
lottery.
really? The lottery?
Yes. So it wasn't that difficult.
Okay, so you won, and a lot of people, they have doubts. when they win a green card, they are thinking, some people are thinking like, okay, let's play and we're gonna see if we're gonna win or no, and we will think after. And some people, they won and they said like, oh, we don't want to go. It was just to see if we are lucky.
Oh, I see. Well, for my father, it was more like, if I win it, then it means to be. So for him was the mentality was that it meant to be. That's why this happened. So we have to take this chance.
What did he do back in Armenia?
He was an engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah.
And what about your mom?
My mom was also, they're both mathematicians and engineers, so they were scientists, both of them. Yeah, and they actually continued their career in America as scientists.
Oh,
They
really?
just retired last year.
Did they support you in all this fashion?
Both of my parents, for my mom's side, they're all doctors, and my father's side, they're all scientists. So it wasn't very clear what it is fashion, what is fashion industry. But however, they were very supportive of me, and every step I took, they were like right behind me. Yeah, in that sense, I always had emotional support from my parents with whatever choices I made in my life and my career. They were always there.
It's awesome when you have your parents' support. It's really important,
definitely,
right?
yes. You feel stronger and you feel more confident.
And how old were you when you moved here?
I was 18.
18.
Yes.
It's interesting age. Did you feel like you miss your friends and you don't want to move,
Definitely. The first half a year was a bit sad. I was thinking about back home, about my friends, but there was also many new exciting things happening. New York City, very big, it was crazy energy for New York. So it was it was like, ups and downs. I would miss my friends, and then it would be, well, but New York is so great, and I'm just so happy to be here, and there's so many things I can do, until I found my friends, and that's when I got used to living in New York already. But the first year definitely was not easy.
New York is a fashion capital of the world. Paris and Milan might disagree, but that's true. The fashion district in New York is referred to as #1. New York is an expensive city. Where did you live when you came?
Well, my parents decided to move to New York.
Why?
I'm not sure why. Well, maybe because my aunt and uncle were already living in New York.
So you had
So I'm
families.
assuming that's why. But I also really wanted to move to New York, and so did my brother, because we had an option, Los Angeles or New York, but we really wanted New York because it's city, the energy, the university I wanted to go, my brother wanted to go, so it made more sense.
So you already knew what university you want to go, back in Armenia or when you moved here?
I kind of had an idea of the universities, and I know that the fashion industry is associated in New York. Back then, Los Angeles didn't really have as much fashion industry. Right now, Los Angeles has probably more fashion industry as far as production and yeah, production and manufacturing and fast fashions. More of them are here. When New York is more about like high fashion and just runway shows and fashion week. But back then, New York had the fashion district. The industry was huge in New York. The productions, factories, everything were there.
What about your parents? How was it for them?
It was difficult for them. It was very difficult for them because here they are in a new country. They had to learn the language. They had two kids to support. So I would say it was very difficult for them. They would work two jobs, and it was hard. I would say the first 2 years was very difficult for them.
How long did it take them to kind of feel good?
I would say 2, 3 years. Yeah, even though they both found jobs like within 6 months at American companies, uh, but it was not easy transition.
What was more difficult, not knowing the language or the whole mentality and environment?
I would say the whole mentality, not seeing your friends, not seeing your family. Like back home, they would gather with their friends, 2, 3 times a week, and here they are, not a lot of friends. New York's a very big city, even though we had some friends, the commute was so far between the city. I would say that was harder because they both are very smart people and they learned the language pretty quick. But yeah, I would say missing the friends and culture. But then they adapted to the culture pretty easy.
Are there many people from Armenia in New York?
Not that many, no, not that many. There was very, very small community in New York. Actually, I only know my Armenian family in New York. I didn't have any friends, but here in Los Angeles, it's the biggest
Yes.
community. I feel like probably more Armenians in LA than in Armenia itself now.
Seriously?
That's how I feel. I'm not, maybe I'm wrong
That's
about the
how I feel.
numbers, but I definitely feel like I live in Armenia.
So when you moved here, did you apply for the new university right away, or you took some classes?
First I worked and I took English classes. I took some preparational classes because I had no knowledge of actual fashion or like drawing or sewing or cutting, none of this. So I took a job as makeup artist at Lancome, and I simultaneously was studying how to sew and how to write in English. My writing wasn't good. The speaking was good, but the writing was very bad. So I had to study on that a lot more, high school and after high school. But yeah, and then I applied for college.
Can you tell the whole process for the people who want to be a fashion designer here? What kind of step they have to take?
Mostly, I think they should just try to get their idea on the paper somehow. It doesn't have to be perfect picture, because it's a sketch, it's not a painting. So you don't really have to be the best artist, it's not art, it's just a sketch that puts your idea of design on the paper. And from that you can go into construction. So that would be definitely one thing, not to be afraid of drawing, because you don't have to have the most perfect skills for that. And definitely play around with fabrics. That's how I started. Just got a lot of fabric from Garment District in New York. I went to the store and I got a small hand like sewing machine. It was very cheap, and they financed it at that time like $20 a month payment. And I just started to play around with these fabrics. I started to cut, make things, you know, like 8 out of 10 would be horrible and I would throw out, but two of them made some sense. It's just, yeah, don't be afraid of learning, experimenting, the process, it should be more like I would take the scissors in my hand and something would come out of it. Like, it should be natural. Just don't be afraid, I would say. Have the confidence and don't be afraid.
Can you tell me what university you applied for and what kind of
Yes.
steps you have taken?
So there were two universities at the time that I wanted to go, Parsons and Fashion Institute of Technology. Parsons was private school, so it was a lot more expensive. FIT was public, state college, and it wasn't that expensive. So I figured, you know what, I should just go to FIT and I can afford to pay for my classes. Because for state residents, they were 50% discount. So it's like, this is more doable than paying $70,000 a year. Back in 90s, that was a lot of money.
It's still a
So
lot of money.
that was a very easy decision for me. Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to take insane amounts of loans and then be like, oh, I'm working all my life to pay my loans. I don't know. It was an easy decision.
Okay. And how does this process work for this industry?
So for Fashion Institute and any fashion colleges, they look at your GPA in general. And surprisingly, the GPA has to be really high.
Seriously, how high
Yes,
does it?
mine was 4. I was always a straight A student.
Oh my God.
Colleges, high schools, everywhere. So they definitely do look at it because a lot of talented kids do come with great designs and great sewing skills, great drawing skills. So then definitely they look at GPA because there are insane amount of talented people who come. Um,
But I
they
mean, like, if you are talented, doesn't mean you are doing good in a school,
I
you know?
know that's another criteria they look like below 3.5 is very difficult. Yes, in
It's
any
interesting.
fashion college, I would
Surprise.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it changed right now. I'm not sure, but back in the day, it was very important. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the students who weren't admitted to the college, they would take just the class without being admitted to the college. They would take the class and eventually they would take them in because a lot of the students would drop out second semester. They would decide it's not for them. So a lot of
Oh,
students would
okay.
drop out. It was very difficult to have. I mean, we had a draping class, which was 2 times a week, 4 hours each time, and it was only 4 credits. And then we had all these classes that were 0 credits that we had to take, and we had to do insane amount of homework. So a lot of the students would drop out. They would realize, maybe it was just the wrong thing for me. And then the students who were taking the classes, they would have the first opportunity to be admitted.
It's cool.
Yeah, so if you like, I would say if someone is not accepted right away, they should still take the classes.
Did they take you just by your like by your credits,
Oh,
or you had to
absolutely
do
no.
something
You had
else?
to do, they would look at your sketches, at your skills. They would look. You were required, at that time, we were required to present 10 garments that we made ourselves and prove how we made them. So photos of the process, how we made. We had to know some basic sewing skills. Um, and they would look at the sewing skills, drawing skills, the garments that you make, and we were required to take photos of these garments. So that was required as well. Yes. So these are basically the exams or something that they looked at, definitely.
Did you submit it online? You brought them,
There was
or
no online at that time.
I keep
There was
forgetting.
no online. It was different life. We only had the Motorola cell phones, the flip phones. So yeah, I would go to the college, to the admission office. There were huge lines. I would stay in line until they would take you. They would look at your stuff, and then the photos you would mail out. You would.
Did they tell you right away, or you had some time to wait?
No, you think? I think it was. I'm not sure right now, but maybe about a month or month and a half. You had to wait to know. And then there was a list. You would go to the college, and they would put the list of those who are accepted. It was on the door, and then they would send you a letter in the mail. Yeah, I'm sure now it's online, but yeah, back in the day was no internet.
It
There
was the
was
same, yeah.
internet, but it wasn't. They
Yeah, it
weren't
was as
using
much
it.
as we
Was
have right now.
yes, yes, yes.
And how long did it take you to graduate from this?
I graduated pretty quick because I took a lot of the classes fast, and I took winter class, summer class. About 2.5 years I graduated.
Just 2.5
Yeah,
years.
the 4-year program. I loved to be in college. I would go there like day and night, weekends. I took summer classes and winter. I just wanted to finish as fast as I can. And then I'm like, oh my God, I miss being a student.
Yeah, I know. Do you still have friends from this college?
Yes, I do. I do. Not a lot of the students who were with me ended up working in fashion. Only a few. I do have friends that we're still in touch. My friend Daniel, who lives here in LA now, he moved, and my other friend Christine. I have a lot of friends, yeah, and they actually moved to Los Angeles too at some point.
Comparable to our university, I'm comparing Ukraine and the United States. It was a huge difference. About you, I have a question regarding your teachers. Did you feel any pressure, when people said to you, like, you're not talented?
Oh, absolutely not. No, no, no. The professor, because talent is such a unique and gentle thing, and I think it's so hard to judge.
But did they tell, like,
So,
you cannot get this information? I told you like a couple times, you're still not getting it.
hmm, there were technical stuff they would go over a few times, but in general, to talk about talent, I mean, I don't think anybody can be judge of it. Beside the general public, yes, like it's an opinion of masses. It's not an opinion of one person. So the professors, never judged you're talented, you're not. A lot of the students, they understood on their own if they want to continue or if they can't make it there. It was a lot of pressure because we had a lot of homework. We had insane amount of homeworks, and we were great every day. We got a grade for homework. Unlike other colleges, when you don't have that much homework, in fashion college we had insane amount of homework. We all carried suitcases to college, full of garments and fabric and rulers, pens, scissors. And yeah, they graded, and there was a pressure to do your best. Like when it was the technical part, like sewing class, it was very frustrating for a lot of the students, for me as well, because it wouldn't come out perfect. And then we had to redo it, redo it, redo it. So I remember that professor was strict, but she had to be strict in order for us to learn it the best.
Succeed.
Yes, but as far as killing a talent or disorienting a student or being rude to the student, I never had this experience. No.
What happened when you graduated?
Oh, when I graduated, I didn't go to graduation.
You didn't
Because
go
I
to the
didn't want to wear those stamped things.
Why? It wasn't fashionable?
I just never liked them. I still don't like them. I think they're horrible. I don't know. They should be made nicer.
You should propose something new. Some new fashion for the graduation.
So yes, when I was a second semester student and it was the term garment, the final exam, I came up with this interesting design that you could transfer it and transform it and make few different tops of it. So I'm like, okay, instead of one garment, I'm going to show 7 garments. And I made the 7 dresses. I got an A, and it was summertime, end of May. My parents were going to Miami, Florida for vacation. I was like, oh, Mom, take these dresses with you. She comes back, and she's like, oh, so many people wanted this dress. They asked, maybe you should make it. So I went ahead and I bought some fabric. I had sewing machines at home, so I cut it, and I started to give to boutiques in New York. And the next week, they started calling me, bring more, bring more, bring more. So,
you brought like samples? Let's
yeah,
say,
I was like, can you
dresses.
sell it? They're like, yeah, give me, we can sell. Back in the day, it was easy in fashion because, so yeah, fast fashion didn't exist, like stores, H&M, 21, Zara. I mean, I love all the stores, but they didn't exist at that time. So for fashion designers, it was like really easy. We could make clothing at home. We would take to the boutiques, and there were insane amount of boutiques in New York, everywhere, in Soho, everywhere. And we would give them on consignment our garments, then they would sell it and call us back, pay us, and take more designs. So it was very easy. And they started calling me back, asking more for this dress, more, more, more. And then eventually I was like, oh, maybe I should create my brand. And, so my name was Von, my nickname was Vonnie. Everybody was calling me Vonnie. So, and that's how I came up with my brand, Von Vonnie. I was born in 2001 in May, so it's actually 20-year-old this
20-year-old?
month. Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I didn't even celebrate it, but maybe I should.
You should.
I forgot.
It's 20 years.
I keep saying it in March. I'm like, oh, we should do something in May, and then May comes, we forget. And then later I see like that similar design was made by Halston, like an idea of the part of it, like 40 years prior when I made that, which I had no idea of at that time. And then this dress really took off, and then my other dresses took off. And I stopped working for other companies. This I'm talking about my second semester, like 6 years. The dress was making. And then at the 7th year, it really took off internationally.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years of the company. It took off at 7th year. It took off.
So you
big.
sell them all over the
All
world?
over the world. We had showrooms in Moscow. We had showrooms in Milan, in London, in Dusseldorf, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. It went big. Mexico City. So it went international, huge,
How
everywhere.
did you make it work internationally?
It kind of happened. So I had a presentation in New York. I was 27 or 28-year-old at that time. In my showroom of New York, we had a presentation, and we invited a lot of different fashion editors. There were editors from Russia, there were editors from Italy, and when they wrote about me and about my designs, I heard back from some buyers, and then distributors, and then some showrooms, and that's how it started to take off.
That's great.
It just organically happened. And then we sold it for another 8 years, and then it came down.
It's
It
a
can't always
fashion.
be good, right?
Yes, it's a fashion.
Life is waves.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I moved to Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles about 6 years now.
Hmm.
I didn't live here fully 6 years. Half of it I lived in Milan, Italy, and
Oh,
half of it I lived in Los Angeles. Now, after when the quarantine started, it all started in Milan.
oh,
So I had to run out thinking it's never going to happen to America. Then it happened here 2 weeks later. But yeah, after the quarantine, I moved here. I've never been back to Milan.
hmm,
I've been living in Los Angeles. I started to like Los Angeles
hmm.
because before for me was after New York was a little bit of a difficult adjustment to
Los
move to LA.
Angeles?
Yeah, like I would love it. It's so nice and quiet, and people are relaxed.
Hmm.
But then, like 2, 3 months later, I'm like, oh my God, I miss the energy. I miss like city life and something. So living half LA, half Milan, there was a balance for me: city life and a quiet city life. But now I just learned to love LA so much more that I'm here, and I've discovered a lot more, and
Hmm.
uh, I made a lot more friends, so I can call it my hometown now. Finally, after 6 years
After
living
six
here.
years. What about Milan?
Yeah,
What did you
I
do in
love
Milan?
Milan. I actually went to college in Italy for a bit. Um, I worked in Milan for many years from our showrooms. It
Hmm.
was one of my favorite cities in the world. It's a small city. It's still busy. There's still energy.
Hmm.
And there's a saying about Milan that the beauty of Milan is behind closed doors.
Mm,
So
interesting.
only the locals know the beauty of Milan, and the place is not a very touristy town because there's not much to see as far as architecture, but there is everything in Milan, everything else. If you know the town, it's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful places.
What are the most beautiful places to visit except what the tourists know?
In Milan,
Mm-hmm.
besides the cathedral, well,
Mm-hmm.
Milan has an amazing, amazing cuisine. So the restaurants there are fantastic. You have all the restaurants that you, again, need to know where to go. There are many amazing restaurants. In Brera, you just walk around. Brera is not very touristy. It's just like area, let's say Soho in New York,
Mm-hmm.
full of boutiques, fashion shops, interesting people. Another beautiful thing about Milan, you're only 1 hour away from everything else, pretty much. If you want to fly
Oh.
to Paris, it's an hour away,
Mm.
and the tickets is 50 euro for
So cheap.
back and forth. It's nothing. My Uber from my house to downtown is more sometimes. So that's
Welcome to
another
LA.
beauty, yeah. Or, you can take a train ride, and in 40 minutes you're at Lake Como. All the lakes are around. Everything is nearby, and there is never a boring weekend in Milan because you can always come out for 2, 3 days, take the train and you're somewhere, or take the airplane and you're somewhere. And local traveling is amazing because you travel from the city airport, which is in the city, and you land whatever European city you're flying, you
Mm-hmm.
land in the city airport. So it's like 20-minute train ride. You're in the city center. That's another thing that I really enjoyed living in Milan.
Do you still have a showroom in Milan?
We closed it right before quarantine.
Mm.
Working more online right now. I'm preparing to work more on the
Mm-hmm.
internet now. Hopefully one day we will open or we will not. We'll see because fashion changed. A lot of the showrooms started to work online for the wholesale buyers. That's how we're working now in America. We're working through wholesale showrooms only.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any physical showroom now.
Mm. Yeah,
And it's transitioning to Europe too.
to Europe too. What do you like about Los Angeles and what you don't like about Los Angeles?
I think what I didn't like about Los Angeles, that now I'm okay with it, it doesn't bother me, that I come out of my house and I don't see anyone or anything. It's just homes and homes and homes and homes.
Mm-hmm.
Like living in New York or living in Milan, you come out of your apartment and there are restaurants underneath your building, shops, boutiques, there are people,
Mm-hmm.
there is action, beautifully dressed people walking down the street. Here I come out of my house and I see house and house and house, and I can walk 20 minutes and I would never see any person. So that was the part that I
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really didn't like about Los Angeles when I first moved.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think I got used to it. Yeah, and it was strange because living in New York or living in Milan, if you come out of your home, you really need to look presentable.
Yeah.
And after I moving here, but like when I would come out, like would be like, "Oh, are you going out? Are you going somewhere? Is there an event?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to work."
Yes.
And then eventually, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna wear sweatpants. I don't see anybody on the street. I'm gonna be on Uber. I'm gonna be in the car." And I was like, you know what? No, I gotta change back from that.
Are you doing anything else except dresses? Do you have any other or
Yeah, hobbies, you mean? Or
no, I mean like you created those dresses,
mm-hmm,
Transformers, right? But
mm-hmm.
are you doing something else except those dresses?
Yes, so I have like few underlines. So one of them is it's called Linen Skies, the brand. This is very casual, very easy, breezy stuff. Mostly we use linen fabrics or cottons. Um, this is one of the lines that I'm doing, and I also wanted to relaunch my collection under my name, Von
Mm-hmm.
Sargsyan, which I'm planning to launch in September. There are some samples of that collection ready now, which I can show you later if
Mm-hmm.
you wish.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I have another project, which is basically a shop. You've been to our shop showroom
Mm-hmm.
in Pasadena. So this is, we work with different brands from all over the world, like young designers, small brands. It's a co-working showroom. So they rent little spaces at our showroom and we represent their brands. And um, that's another project that I have. And then I like to cook, so I love to cook so much that I went to take like pastry classes in
Seriously,
Italy.
I would love to
And
try something.
yeah, we can make something today.
Why
And
not, right?
and I started to bake a lot. And I was like, oh, you need to open a cafe. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should. So I opened a cafe in Los Angeles. Like this was 6 years ago. And
Showroom,
I was
cafe.
baking there. But then it was like about 8 months in the business, I started to realize that, some things are good to be as hobby. So like, baking should be a hobby. I can't run a cafe. Like, it was too much of a work. And, when you make something for your friends or family, the love that goes into this is different. And
Mm-hmm.
when you go to buy the product, you choose the best available. The price, you don't really look that much because you're buying one small
Yeah.
pack of butter.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're making for large amounts,
Yeah.
then you need to have a compatible price.
Yes.
So then I was like, oh no, let it be a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
But we sold the cafe profitably, so that was fine. I mean, that was a
You
great
didn't lose money?
experience. No,
Okay.
we didn't lose anything. Thank
That's
God.
good.
I lost a lot of money in fashion, but in the coffee shop, no.
Good. And I would like to
Uh-huh.
see your dresses. Can you show me,
Definitely.
please?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, let's go.
So this was the dress I was talking about.
That your mom wore.
Yes, that I made at the second semester. I had different skirts, but I found this is the most commercial version. So it's basically a halter dress when you can wrap differently on the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's one size, so it fits from size 2 to 10 because the fabric stretches.
Okay.
So let's say if you want to have some sleeve, you can open the sleeves here, uh,
Uh-huh.
and then voila, you have this look.
Mm-hmm.
You can wear them one shoulder. Uh, you can bring it there, and then you have a one shoulder dress.
So cool.
Yes, so that's another version of it. Um, gonna show you one more way, and then because it's endless, we're never gonna finish this phone, this shooting. You know, so that's
This
another
is
way
so
you
cool.
can wear it. Yeah, you can also wear it like a skirt. Let me just show how to wear like a skirt on this
Oh
one.
wow, so many ways you can wear it.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways you can wear it. It's jersey, very
Vertical.
easy to travel with. Oh, you can also wear it like strapless.
But
So you can wrap it like this.
oh,
Uh-huh. And then you have a strapless dress.
so one
Voila.
dress, and how many versions you
I
can
don't
do?
know. I've seen a lot of versions. Like I showed it in like 6 ways,
Mm-hmm.
but then the clients, whoever bought it, they showed me more and more and more and more. So it's like hundreds of ways I've seen
That's
so far.
amazing.
And then you can, voila, you have a skirt that you
You
can
buy
wear with any t-shirt.
you buy one dress and you have dresses for every day,
Yeah.
right?
So this was my most popular design at that time, you know.
I'm
Um,
impressed. It's really cool. Really cool. Maybe I should buy one.
Sure, I'll give you one. You don't need to buy.
And I know you want us you
Uh-huh.
want to show us something else.
Yes, I want to show you my other collection. So I'm gonna take this out and I'll just bring the rolling racks, right?
Okay. Are these wedding dresses or
No, these are not
White.
wedding dresses. So I fell in love with the color white. So I was doing everything white in summer. So this was from my collection with my name. So the dresses look very like, high-endy, but they're really not because the edges are raw edge.
Mhm.
So the new collection, everything is raw edge and the fabrics are raw edge. The fit is easy, it can be belted.
I like it a lot.
I feel like, yeah, we were wearing too much pajamas during quarantine. And I feel like
I like
everybody
it.
misses to kind of dress up and
Do I look good?
kind of have
What do you
fun.
think? Should I buy one?
Yeah, you look
Yes.
very
Yes, yes, no.
nice. So I think, yeah, we're missing some fun in
Yes,
fashion in our lives,
definitely.
So my spring collection was a little bit dressy, fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it's dressed down like the way the stitches are done, it's raw edge.
Mm-hmm.
So you can wear it with flip-flops, flat shoes. You can wear it
Cool.
like
Uh-huh.
daytime, however you want. Very simple dress again that you can
Yeah.
do with, wear it with flat shoes, sneakers even, or like flip-flops.
That's
Oh,
great.
and then I liked like kind of coats, like these are like coats they can go over anything.
Oh,
So it's
but
really like dressy, but can go over jeans, or
yeah.
shorts, or maybe like if you want to have more dressy option, it can just go over another dress, you know.
Good. It's
So
really
yeah,
good. I like it.
these are a few things from my spring collection that I wanted to show you.
That's
That's
awesome.
it.
I like it. Maybe I'll buy one. What do you think?
Why not? You should. I can sell.
Give me my money. And you told that you like cooking, right?
Yes, I love to cook, and I want to show you my most favorite dessert. One of my most favorite, but my friend's most favorite.
Mm-hmm.
They have always asked me. It's called Napoleon. It's basically milfei, but the Russian version of it.
The whole cake, Napoleon.
Not the cake. It's gonna be like, yeah, not the whole cake. I'm gonna make how to say, individual pieces.
Can I help you?
Yes, let's go to the kitchen.
I didn't know that Napoleon cake initially named millefeuille, which means 1,000 layers in French. But it's not an exaggeration. Some versions today can have up to 2,048 layers.
So you ready to cook?
Yes, it's all
There's your
prepared.
apron. So we're gonna make Napoleon today. Let me just go over the recipe. The dough we buy it's already pre-made, so it's very easy to make. So we're gonna start with the custard. For that you need half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, and then what you will do, you would take these and mix
Okay.
evenly, so there are no bumps in there. Okay. And I'm gonna go
Okay,
ahead
my best.
and prepare the dough. So the puff pastry dough you can buy at any supermarket. Just cut it to the shape you want. I put a foil on the baking sheet, then I just spray it with the non-stick.
What do you think?
I think you're doing good. Just a little bit more, and then we're gonna add the milk.
I think it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yes, you're doing so good. Now we're gonna add the milk. There you go.
Here.
So this is ready to go to the oven. We're gonna bake it at 350 Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes.
Okay,
So
awesome.
this looks great. So we had here half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour. We have 1.5 cup of milk, and then 2 eggs, but we can only use the yolks. So we're gonna separate the whites with the yolks from the yolks. And then voila. The egg whites you can use in the morning to make like an omelette, or if you are making meringue, that's also a great idea. So what we do, we're just gonna slightly whisk that, and then slowly we're gonna add the milk. Perfect. So once this is done, we're going to add this to the milk. So we're gonna add it gradually. Yeah, let's make a little hole in the middle. There you go. You can put it flat because it needs to be flat. Yeah.
And I have to mix it while...
And then you just add this there and lightly mix it until it's even.
Oh, I haven't done it for a long
Let
time.
me show you. Let me show you like a little technique.
Okay.
If you do it flat like this, it actually goes easier. Okay.
What do you mean like this?
You were mixing like that, which is harder. But if you do it like this way, it actually goes quicker and easier.
Good to know.
And it's done. So we're gonna put this on the stove, and we're gonna cook it until the custard is firm.
Oh, I found some bumps.
It's okay. You can do it while it's on a gas stove.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make it perfect.
Sure. Okay. So you can go ahead and just mix it this way until it's firm. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are good here. We baked our puff pastry dough. It's ready to go. They sometimes come out different shapes, but it's fine because some of them we're gonna use for the cream and some of it we're gonna crush. This is our custard. So after making the custard, we're gonna put on a plate, let it cool down for a couple of hours, then you put it in the refrigerator. So after this, we're gonna whip the custard. So let's take the mixing bowl. We're gonna transfer this here. And then we're gonna add just a little bit vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yes, for taste. Okay, we're gonna whip this a little bit, and then the Napoleon is ready. So it's a really good quick dessert to make because it doesn't take that much time.
So if you want to make it faster, you have to prepare it like the day before?
You can make it in advance. Yeah, the custard you can make in advance. It takes about 20 minutes to make, and then it's actually ready, so you don't need to whip it that long.
But you said you have to put it in the refrigerator.
Yes, so it's gonna cool down 1 hour, 2 hours, and then you put it in the fridge. You can make it the day before, and then the next day you can just make the Napoleon.
Looks good.
It's very, you just maybe a couple of minutes and you're fine. You don't need to make it that long. So there are actually a few ways of Napoleon. So the way I like it, it's crunchy. Which means I'm gonna put the cream and then I serve it right away. But if you want it to have non-crunchy, then you can prepare it the night before and then serve it the next day. So you cut this in half, take a generous amount of the custard, the cream, voila. I like to use on both sides. Okay.
Smells good.
Smells good. You'll try it.
It's really good.
After we're done, you can try. Put this on the side a little bit. So I love the crunchy one, so I just make it in individual plates and I serve it individual.
Is everyone hungry now?
Yeah, we have
I'm ready
enough.
to eat.
for everyone. Okay. So then we're gonna take one of these guys. You know, I usually like the perfect shapes I keep for the actual dessert, and the ones that don't come out so nice, I used to crush it. And then we
So
crush
yummy.
this on top.
I am so ready.
And then we take a spoon, but I don't suggest using a spoon to eat because it crushes. You just eat it with your hands. It's a little bit messy, but it's the most delicious way to eat.
Baked.
So you know you can garnish it with some berries, some edible flowers, or like sugar powder. But I like to keep it this way because there are already enough calories in there. There you go. Enjoy. Bon appetit.
All mine.
It's all yours. I'm not gonna fight.
I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna run. It's really good. Don't film me. It's really good. Now you have to finish all of them.
There you go.
Because they're gonna hunt me around with this cake.
The camera crew.
Yeah, all of them. You know.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Juan.
You're very welcome.
A big pleasure to talk to you. It was very interesting, and I like your dresses a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Of course. Come again. Anytime.
For this one, I will come.
There you go.